Ainsley here of Ames's Antics. Welcome to my channel. I hope you're well, because I have another crafty project to share with you this week. And in this week's video, I'm going to show you how to make a DIY wooden indoor plant stand using little bits of wood to create a really nice plant stand to display all your houseplants on. And yes, it's a really simple woodworking project that I did with my dad, so you might see some shots of his hands in this. He doesn't like to be filmed, so yes, you'll see his hands, but this is a joint project with my dad. So if you'd like to see how to make a DIY wooden indoor plant stand, then let's get crafting. So here are the wooden pieces that we're going to use to make the legs of the plant stand, and these are 2 cm by 2 cm blocks, I guess, and we're just going to cut them down to the size that we want the plant stand to be. And for the plant stand legs, you're only going to need 4 of these, and we're just going to measure them down to size. And I believe they are 30 centimeters in length. So we are just trimming these down and squaring up the edges to make them nice and level to use as a plant stand legs. We are using a miter saw here to cut down the wooden pieces to size, as well as squaring off the edges for each of the leg pieces. And this is what the wooden pieces look like after being cut. So we're just going to use a metal file to bevel the edges a little bit and just take away some of those rough cuts that the saw has left on the ends. And once we have sanded these down, we're just going to place them to one side and concentrate on the middle part of the plant stand where the plant pot will sit. So we have 2 pieces of 3 by 3 measuring 17.5 centimeters in length, and then from either end we are measuring in 7.5 centimeters to create a 2.5 centimeter gap so that the 2 can sit as a cross for the middle of the plant pot stand. And then on either end of both of the cross pieces, we are just going to find the center using an angle measurer, I believe, or something like that it is called. So we're just marking this with a pencil, and then along this line we're going to just turn it the other way so the line is horizontal and mark 1 centimeter in on each side, and this will cross through that middle line to create the point where we are going to create some holes for doweling. Then we've headed over to the pedestal drill to drill these 2 holes that we marked, and I'm not quite sure of the drill bit size, but it is just slightly larger than the dowel pieces that we are using, and we're using 2.5 centimeter long dowels. I'm not quite sure of the width, but they are quite small, so yeah, this drill bit fits those pieces. To finish off the ends of these cross pieces, we are just going to use the angle measurer once again, and from that middle line that was originally drawn, we've gone down the 2 sides of the wooden pieces, and then marking from the corner towards that middle line on either side to create a triangular piece. And this will then help us guide where we need to cut out to create triangular ends so they can fit snugly to the leg pieces with the holes and doweling attached, if that makes sense. And once everything is marked, we're heading back to the miter saw just to cut out the middle parts of the cross pieces, so the 2.5 centimeter gap, and we're just carefully cutting this down with that miter saw, little bits by little bits. And my dad has created some form of jig to go in so it stops us overcutting and cutting too far down in that gap. And then, like before, just filing this down so it's nice and smooth, ready to be put together. Then it's time to test out and make sure the two pieces fit together, which they do nice and snugly. So all we need to do is cut the two ends now, and the middle pieces are nearly finished. So using a bandsaw, I believe it is called, my dad here, because my hand is not steady, is just gently cutting them out to create the two triangle ends of the cross pieces. And this is what the ends will look like with the doweling holes already put in and the triangle piece cut out. All that's left to do again is just file it so it is nice and smooth, and then it is ready to begin sticking together. So before we can stick the plant stand together, we need to create some holes in the plant legs to help the doweling sit in to secure the cross pieces to it. So from one end, measure up 12 centimeters, and then either side of this 12 centimeters, we want to mark a centimeter, and this will be where the holes will be drilled in the plant stand legs. And as you can see, this is the vision of what it will look like once everything is drilled into place. Now my dad has created something else with wood that will just help the plant stand legs sit in place diagonally, so they're not square, so the point is facing upwards, if that makes sense. And this will just hold it in place while we drill the two holes like this into the plant stand legs. And once we have drilled the holes in all four of the plant stand legs, we can now begin assembling the plant stand. So we're going to use some wood glue for this, and our brand is the Gorilla Glue, but you can use whichever brand of wood glue you prefer. And just coating the insides of the cross pieces and then pushing them together snugly until you can't move them anymore and they are sitting nice and flush, wiping away any excess glue that has come out of the side with pushing them together. Then we're just going to set this aside and let it set in place. Now it can take a few hours to dry properly, and while we're waiting for that to dry, we're going to add the doweling into the leg stand holes, and I believe these are 2.5 centimeter in length, but I can't quite remember what diameter the dowels are. But essentially they're going to go into the plant stand legs as well as into the ends of the crosses to secure it all together. So we're going to use the wood glue again and just place these in. Try and get them in as far as you can by hand, and then we're going to use a hammer just to tap them in place a little bit more. And whilst we wait for the glue to set, we're just going to have a nice bit of a tea or coffee break. I think it's well deserved. So now that the dowelings are set in place in the plant leg stands, it is time to attach the middle cross parts for this. So we're just placing wood glue once again on the ends of that triangular part and placing the dowel pieces into where the holes were drilled, and this is what it should look like. So we're going to continue adding all of the legs, and this is what it will look like once secured together. So we're just using clamps and extra pieces of wood just to keep it from moving and keeping it in place while it sets. And I think we left this about 24 hours to fully adhere together. Then just to finish off, we are going to coat it in some clear varnish because we weren't quite sure what colour we wanted, and we liked the wood grain, so we're using a yacht varnish, I believe, here, just covering it all up. And then the DIY indoor wooden plant stand is complete and ready to house some beautiful houseplants. So they have how to make a DIY wooden indoor plant stand, perfect for housing all of your houseplants, giving them that extra bit of pizzazz and height. And I think this has turned out fabulously. We did have a few hiccups of trying to work out the best way to do it, but I think this way we did it, and it's very nice and secure, and it looks stylish as well. And again, I'm going to give a shout out to my dad, because he is sharing all of his wooden project expertise with me, and I am learning a lot with these wooden projects, so I've really enjoyed it. But if you have any tips and tricks of making plant stands or anything to do with wooden projects, then put them in them comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, then please do give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to keep up with all my creative and crafty antics coming up onto the channel. Hit that notification bell as well if you haven't already, and that'll alert you each time my new videos go live. I also have a blog, Ames's Antics, which is linked down below and up above for you to check out. Sometimes there's just a little bit more information over on the blog, so be sure to check it out. And with that said, I will see you in the next video, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and week, and are able to do something creative and crafty to pass your time, like maybe make your own DIY plant stand. I forgot what it was called then. But yes, whatever you do, I hope it brings you a little bit of joy and just helps you get through the week. And until the next one, thanks for watching. Bye.